Hello and welcome to this week's vlog from Maddisons. Well, we all know how expensive it is to buy a property these days, especially if it's your first one. Lots of stories of first-time buyers who can't get on the housing ladder. And some interesting data out this week just show just how bad that problem is becoming. Almost 50% of 20-year-olds now live with their parents. That's up since about 35% in 1998. And also worryingly, around sort of 20 to 34-year-olds is still considerably higher than it was back in 1998, which shows how expensive it is getting, as I've said, to buy a property. And one solution that is often found to address that is what's called houses of multiple occupancy, HMOs. They're basically where the owner takes a decent-sized property, normally has to have around 4 to 5 bedrooms to work, and you have a shared communal space such as the kitchen and the sort of living accommodation area or dining area. Then each person has their own bedroom. Some share a bathroom, some have their own ensuite. Well, of course, new regulations came in back on the 1st of October 2018 to really address what many saw as overcrowding and ruthless landlords trying to exploit those particular properties. Previously, you only had to have an HMO licence if it had more than 5 households over 3 floors. So it was the 3 floors that basically meant that many HMO properties didn't have to be licensed. And the 3-floor ruling was simply to cut down on fire risk. So they wanted increased and enhanced fire regulations. That all changed on the 1st of October. Basically, 2 or more households with 5 or more people, no regard for the number of floors your property has got, and you have to have a licence. And with that licence came quite strict rules on how big a room could be. They didn't want to have overcrowding, as I've said before. And then each individual local authority could then install certain conditions around soundproofing, fire regulations, and further overcrowding issues. So yeah, real changes there. They think that probably around 60,000 HMOs had to be licensed before the new regulation, and now post the regulation it's about 160,000. So that shows what a massive increase it is. More worrying lately, though, is data out which shows that many local authorities do not have a system in place for making sure those HMOs are licensed. And many landlords find they phone up their local authority to go through the process, and the local authority doesn't really have a clue. So our advice would be certainly look at the HMO mandatory licence. If your local authority does not have a process or a system for getting your HMO licensed, then look at the mandatory process. If you need a licence, go through that, keep your paperwork, and just make sure that you're out of trouble. They're really great properties, and I have seen some fabulous HMOs in my time that really serve a great part for youngsters who love the communal living and simply gives them their independence at a very affordable rate. They're not all bad at all. And one of the fears really with all the new regulation is that simply all those rooms that perhaps would be rented out for quite cheap rates before, because they were quite small, will not be able to be let out now. So you might have HMO landlords retracting from the market, which I think would be a big shame because it is so expensive for those youngsters to find a place of their own. Well, an HMO that I am selling, which might be of interest, therefore, if that appeals to you. It's a lovely one out at Kippings Cross, a beautiful farmhouse that functions really successfully as an HMO, has got some really lovely residents in there, many who have been there a long time, and yeah, really well kept. So if that one's of interest, do give me a call. It's, as I say, out at sort of Kippings Cross, which is towards Matfield, and is on at a guide of 1.1 million. We've got all the income data to show you if it's of interest. Well, of course, it's half term next week and lots going on locally. Groombridge Place, Penshurst Place and Hever Castle, all and many other, Scotland, I could go on forever, have lots and lots of things going on to keep your young ones entertained through the school holidays. Of course, many of you might be skiing. I myself will be away up a mountain in Morzine, so I won't be vlogging next week. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time. But if you're thinking that the half term could be the perfect time to think about getting your house ready for sale, then do check out my blog. I've got lots of articles on how to get your house ready for sale, especially when you're emerging from the winter months. But if you are on the market at the moment, the biggest tip I can give you for making sure your house is a success at a viewing is turn your heating on. The number of times we go to do a viewing at a cold property, we want to get out, the viewers want to get out. You need to create an environment that makes sure buyers want to stay. And putting your heating on, just for the small cost of that, will go an awful long way. So pop your heating on if you are trying to sell. We hope you enjoyed the vlog, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.